Do you have secrets? Secrets you would never share with anyone?
You tell me even your darkest secrets.
Not even your closest friend? Well, someone's asked exactly that on Quora. What's something you should never reveal to your co-workers, no matter how close you are? We've got a post from Anthony here, who's studied human beings and relationships intimately for years as his profession.
That's fancy. That's fancy.
What I'm going to speak on is something that you should never, ever share with anyone but your most trusted friends and siblings. And you should never share it with your parents or any of your friends that you don't trust to act accordingly.
Hey, how come you guys got better chairs than me?
It's a secret.
Shut up.
You should never, ever share your marital or relationship issues with any of those people. If you get in a huge fight with your spouse or partner, you should never share the details of it with anyone but the people you trust the most.
Everything is fine.
You see, when you share the details of a fight with a close friend who doesn't have the ability to internalize all of the details, the next time that that friend sees your spouse, they very well might treat your partner differently.
Get away from me!
A fight between a husband and a wife, especially, should never be shared with anyone but your very closest friends.
Want to hear some memories?
And you absolutely need to have one person that you can share it with, otherwise you'll never get an objective truth about who really was in the right in that fight. When my wife and I get into a fight,
Punch, punch, get punch, punch, punch.
I call one person, my best friend Casey. Would you care to know why I call him specifically? Casey will tell me the truth.
I swear you would be of more use to me if I skinned you and turned your skin into a lampshade. Or fashioned you into a piece of high-end luggage.
If I'm wrong and I was acting like an asshole, he'll absolutely tell me so.
You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch!
That's extremely valuable information, and I can think on what he tells me and take it back to my wife.
The Golden God is not taking questions. I am the Golden God. I'm taking action. I gotta go.
If he tells me I'm in the right and she's completely wrong in her argument, I'll keep it to myself, because throwing that in her face won't do anything but escalate the situation and cause her to have animosity towards Casey, who is our daughter's favourite person in the world outside her blood family. My wife always calls her best friend Ray, which makes me happy because Ray is very similar to Casey in the way that she'll tell my wife the truth of the matter, even if the truth is that my wife is wrong. Also, both Casey and Ray have the ability to completely internalise all of their knowledge about the fight when we next all see one another, and don't treat either one of us differently. If that wasn't the case, Casey wouldn't be able to talk to my wife without being disrespectful, and Ray might slap me every time she sees me.
Uh-oh, Richard!
I've known quite a few people who've spoken freely about fights with their spouse, and who have even badmouthed their spouse in front of everyone present. In my opinion, there isn't much that could be more disrespectful to your spouse and your marriage. You're giving everyone present a horrible picture of your spouse and making everyone think that your marriage is some kind of argument-ridden catastrophe. Everyone that I work with believes my wife to be an absolute angel. From what I've told them, she is by far a perfect woman. I never tell them when we argue, and when she does something stupid, like switching the bags for my lunch and the dirty cat litter, or anything negative about our marriage, nobody should be airing their dirty laundry at work, period. I tend to agree with this statement because when you're at work, you're there to get a job done, and gossip really isn't going to help with that. You might get bad view of that person's partner and it's just going to make things a bit awkward.
I'm in danger.
So we've got another post here. What attracts most women to a man? I cannot say what all women find attractive because so many have different tastes than I do. I will say that when I was younger, I was very dumb and shallow. I was attracted to a guy because of his looks and his confidence. I liked a guy who wasn't afraid to go after me and was very forward. However, I often chose wrong and got hurt by really awful guys. Later in life, I matured and learned to see past appearances. When I met my husband, we were both 29 years old. He was not the best looking guy according to all my friends and family. Everyone gave me a hard time because of how skinny he was and picked on his teeth. They kept saying I needed to find someone better looking, bigger and thicker. I didn't care and I fell in love with him so much. I remember being so attracted to him because he wasn't afraid of anything. He'd been through so much in life and he was so strong-willed. He was very willing to listen and make changes for the things in his life that I found questionable. Living with a dirty roommate, girls over the house all the time. He wasn't afraid to commit to me, and he showed me how much he meant what he would say. I loved how he treated his grandmother. He was so sweet to her. He also had a wonderful, strong grandfather who raised him and was so kind. He was so smart, like insanely intelligent, but isn't cocky about it. He makes makes so much sense and helps me think more logically. He grounds me and makes me think. I knew after the first 2 months we were together, I wanted to be with him for as long as I could. We have a son now and we have been happily married for 6 years. My husband is a really traditional man. He stands up for what is right and he protects, provides, and loves his family. I find him to be the most attractive man on the planet because he is good and an honourable man. So we've got some responses here. Patrick says, that's what happens when courage and integrity intersect. Andrew says, many years ago I was reading about this. The number one thing that women were looking for, self-confidence. So we have another Andrew responding to Andrew. That's not what she said. Her comments were far more subtle and deeper than that. Joseph says, great to see that you aren't as shallow as your friends and family when it comes to choosing a husband. No offence intended. People get older and looks fade. It's what's inside that matters. Particularly long term. Choosing someone because they're hot in their 20s is very short-sighted, like Coke bottle lenses. So Sean here congratulates their marriage but has something else to say. I personally don't really envy your husband's position, mainly because who knows how many guys you were with before him, probably a good few. Not really your fault. Biological drives are strong, but it's not what many guys like. That's why it's important for guys like me to date in their early 20s and late teens, and compete directly with those good-looking guys, rather than taking their leftovers. A good way to compete is by becoming more good-looking. Standard way to do that is the gym. Gyms have exploded in popularity. This is one reason why. I still want to get married. I just want to meet her early enough that I'm her max second or third, not her 10th. Quite a few assumptions going out there. Joe Blow says women are looking for 9 inches and 2 big coconuts. Observer says forget sense of humour, shared interests, good looks and perceived kindness. All those are meaningless, fairly easy to find and don't make a lasting relationship. Women are attracted to men who will do what they say they will do. Men who keep their word. That is it. So we've got a response here from Alison, nude content creator, and she says, Anthony says, pee on me in the shower. Sty says, my dear, you are absolutely stunning. Beautiful beyond description. Sexy beyond my wildest dreams. The perfect woman. We've got a response from Jake here. It says, subscribe to this channel for more videos.